What's up? Welcome back to another episode of God Thoughts. This week we've got Adam from the Bearded Ballesta and our good buddy Cam.
Hey,
So I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and say that the Game of Thrones fans liked this episode better than episode 3. And partly because, well, actually probably mostly because all the hype on episode 3 kind of let a lot of people down, especially with the way the Night King died. And for me, episode 4, I thought it was just going to be a 100% setup episode. But the two things that happened that we will get into really took me by surprise, and I really enjoyed it.
yeah, very interesting. I think like you're saying, like they built so much up to this great fight, and then it was just like over.
Right.
So like people were expecting a little bit more, but it was a great episode. It was very well put together. It had a lot of ups and downs, which was what I liked about it.
Yeah, I've been talking to Brandon a lot. We text every other day, and we're both still on this Night Train or Night King Bran, train. I think that there's something that's going to happen with it. There's no way that they're going to put him back in the shadows, and that's a wrap on it. There's got to be something more. They built this arc for both these characters, and just to have it end in the middle of the last season, I think that they're going to throw us through a loop in the last episode. But I've been wrong before.
Yeah, it was almost like it was too easy, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like it was too easy. Like, wait, what?
Cersei
doesn't get off that easy.
I definitely think that there's like a reanimated Night King. I think that line that Bran said where he was like, the Night King, he'll come for me. He's done it before or whatever. I think that was kind of telling that the Night King's been defeated and just keeps coming back. And I think Tormund going north now with Ghost, what the fuck is that all about? But I think Tormund going north now is going to be the one that sees the Night King or a reanimated corpse or something.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to leave this on a kind of cliffhanger, or are they going to finish this off within 2 episodes?
Oh, I don't know.
So tricky.
Because that's my only thing about the Night King coming back is we only have 2 episodes left. How the fuck are they going to fit any more in here?
The next, everyone thinks that the Long Night was just that one episode. What if it's not? What if the Long Night's was episode 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Maybe.
It's still ongoing, and it's we're gonna go to war. We've already started the war with Cersei's army. The first shot has literally been fired, and we're gonna wrap that war up pretty quickly in the next episode. It looks like it's just gonna fucking start.
That was a big shot.
I was gonna say, are we gonna wrap that up in the next episode like we did the Night King stuff?
If that's the case, then we have a whole nother episode where the Night King could come back.
Yeah, that's true.
You think he's done, you think he's out, whatever. But nah, motherfucker, he's just coming back, and now he's raising all the dead people that are in King's Landing.
So real quick, and I'm glad that I have you three to talk to you about this, because posting an episode with no guests and no one to reciprocate with, it's hard to get a
I don't know how you do it, dude.
It was great. Really I gotta say, it was really good.
Yeah, I got a poster of Vince Young right here. That I stare at and I pretend Vince is talking to me. No, I'm crazy, man.
That's funny.
One of my buddies in particular, though, my friend Alex, we talk regularly about the Night King, and she sent me her hypothesis, and this is a long time ago. So I've kind of thought the same thing, but I've never really been able to, put it into sentences, kind of, subscribing to one theory. I just wanted to read it real quick and kind of see what you guys think about this. And I think this could be maybe not the show, but maybe the books. This could be what's going to happen. And I quote, "My hypothesis is that the essence of the Night King is actually trapped in the weirwood tree in the land of always winter. The first man that became the Night King is still stuck to that tree, and he is able to literally warg winter itself to make his avatar, the Night King."
So it's basically a projected image that
that's what I was thinking,
controlling from the. I mean, that would explain why he was so easy to kill, and then his body just disintegrated.
Yeah.
It's
that
magic.
would also That would also explain why he doesn't look like any of the other White Walkers. The rest of them look like dead bodies, and he just looks like this blue essence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't know if
true.
it's completely true, but it could make sense. I mean, everything's fair game at this point, but I just think that, and I said in my podcast, I mean, going into this season, every single teaser trailer, every single advertisement was about winter is here. It was about the Night King. The Night King was on posters. For him to die
Yeah.
halfway through the season, it's imagine if Endgame, if Thanos died 30 minutes into the movie, and then it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
it's okay.
it just seems so lackluster for the enemy that you've been building to. Like, I was a wrestling fan hardcore when I was little. Imagine like Hulk Hogan's build up with Andre the Giant, and then
Mhm.
Andre the Giant just laid down in the middle of the ring instead of getting picked up and slammed. It wouldn't be the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
You need that. You
absolutely.
need that moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was like I said, it was like almost like it was too easy. Like it was expecting something else to happen. But like I said, at the same time, they put it all together perfectly. But yeah, I don't think it was the end of the Night King as well. There's too much more to happen.
Okay,
Way too much more.
is that the last that you think we've seen of the Night King?
I,
You're kind of on the page of, they're done with it. They've moved on.
I'm
right?
really on the fence because I can see both ways where like we literally don't have enough time for them to keep this story going because there's so much other stuff that has to be done. I'm honestly worried that this is like the Disney version of Star Wars. This last season is not based on the books, and they've just gone off on their own,
Tangent.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that they're just like, and the Night King's done here, and then we're gonna kill Cersei here, and then John's gonna do this and this and that and this, and it's just like gonna be over with no real like punch into it. You know what I mean? That all the fans are expecting, because I think us fans are used to like ridiculous stuff happening. I don't know. I can see it go either way. Either it is going to be really awesome like that, or they're just going to tie everything up and it's going to be like, okay, and that was it. We're done.
Yeah, because they are killing
hope
everybody
that
off.
it's that. I hope
Yeah,
that
'cause
it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're literally killing people off left and right, like you would see in a traditional show that's ending.
Are they
It's-
though?
Pretty
In a way,
much.
pretty
Well,
much.
they have a shit ton of main characters, but I think
So many people have plot armor that's thick as
Mhm.
can be.
That's
And
my biggest complaint.
Like Tyrion getting whacked in the head with a fucking mast, and then he's like swimming to shore, and he's like, "Oh, all right, let's go about our day now." No fucking way,
that's
bro.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, how you not get hit by one of those arrows? I don't know.
Like, dude, dude. He's like a duck on the circus games or the carnival games, going back and forth. It didn't get hit, not once.
And this is
And
where
it's
I
like, how
say
did they
that
catch her?
yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'll say this is where I believe that this has turned into a fan service affair for this kind of show. I think that the biggest thing for me, and this will bother me till the day I die. You're telling me that Samwell Tarly ran around the Battle of Winterfell with a butter knife and didn't get killed? Are you kidding me? That like it just
That's
baffles
true.
me. And
Brienne was like surrounded for the whole episode.
there's a meme that it shows minor character deaths, and it shows like Ed from the Night's Watch getting stabbed in the back of the head, and then all the major characters, they're getting hugged by zombies, and they're justifying it with killing off certain minor scale characters. But I mean, you don't get that sense anymore of who's gonna die at any moment. I'm like, okay, if what was sad is when the dragon died yesterday, I was kind of
Oh
like,
my
who gives
God.
a shit? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you already ruined this for me. Like,
Wow. Okay, that's a little cynical. I was pretty stunned when the dragon got the.
I was
got-
stunned too.
Like
Yeah, I was like,
I
damn.
was okay with it just getting hit once. I was like, okay, he can recover. But then the one that went through the neck, I was like, oh shit.
Oh.
okay, that was
bad.
intense. I felt bad for the dragon, but for me, it was just, I don't know, man. I kept looking at the time and I'm like, we're this far into it and everyone's still happy and alive. What's going on? Like,
Oh, see, that's your first mistake. I don't look at my phone. I don't look at anything. Like,
if I had to go to the restroom, so I paused it and
when it was over, I was like, "What the? It's over already? Like that? The 80
that was an
minutes
hour and a
of-
half. Yeah.
like that's done. How come work never goes that quickly?
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true.
Um,
Yeah, but they
so-
literally had people like, there's like thousands of them, like they're like ants, and they like on the front lines, they all get like covered, but then all of a sudden everybody's still fighting them. Okay, it didn't make any sense. That was really good
That's
point.
what kind of is telling me that like there's not going to be much more depth to that because
Yeah,
there's so many plot holes already. Like, how did
that's
all
true.
these people survive? They're not going to like just keep going with it.
Yeah, because there was hundreds of thousands of them. Look like it was crazy. Yeah,
And-
I don't. Yeah, it makes no
unless we
sense.
get an episode that's essentially a Red Wedding 2.0, and 15 characters die in one fucking episode.
yeah,
I'm sure someone very important has to die during the battle with Cersei. Like that has to happen.
You would think.
You know what, Brandon, now that you bring this up, what if this what if this next episode is all battle and they defeat Cersei? Just saying the last episode is, they're settling into King's Landing, they have a celebration dinner, and Varys comes through and has an assassin or something to kill Dany for the realm. What if that's like an ultimate twist?
That'd be crazy.
Well,
yeah, I don't trust him.
I guess it would depend on who's still alive at that point in time.
At
But
this point, they're probably all still going to be alive. I mean,
I thought of this last night. I could see the last dragon being taken out with Dany on it, and then that's how she goes. But then I was kind of thinking that's kind of anticlimactic for the clash between Jon and her. But I'm pretty sure that this show is going to end with 0 dragons left.
Yeah, 0 dragons. I was thinking too that she was going to end up dying. Like at the last episode, I could see how where she could, be killed off, and it kind of be like, yeah, well, we're kind of expecting it now. As like her influence is starting to dive down a little bit, I could see some point where she ends up dying. Like I thought I was going to be there with the dragon, how close she was getting, but I can see that happening because now she's getting a little bit more reckless. She knows she's losing influence, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, she saw how everyone loves Jon and everyone wants to follow Jon and everybody.
one of the big things that everybody likes.
Even Jon, he was like, I didn't tell him to say that. Don't get mad at me. I didn't tell him.
One of the big things that everybody likes to talk about is everyone's story arc in the show. I think our story arc for Cam on the show was at one point in time, he was kind of a cheerleader for Dany.
Yep.
And now it sounds like he's starting to kind of turn around and sing a little bit different tune on her.
I was there too.
Yeah.
That scene in Astapor with where she's pretending to not know High Valyrian and she steals the Unsullied. That was a big fuck
That was
yeah. I love
gangster.
Dany. I was like, this is some badass shit. Like hell yeah. But since then, the way that the character's written, she's just she's naive and she's very entitled and she doesn't really listen to her advisors, and she kind of just gives off this vibe to me that she is a know-it-all and that she wants to break the wheel, but I need to go get what's rightfully mine. Well, your family got defeated in combat, so technically it's not really yours anymore.
Yeah.
The way I see it. So it's all this entitlement that I don't know. I've grown to not really care for Dany.
It's getting hard to because you can see that the power is starting to get to her just a little bit. Like before the power was getting to her, but it was getting to her for the good. But then you got to think like if maybe that was her ulterior motive the whole time was to get all these people to bring them over there. But you can see like the power starting to switch just a little bit, and that's where I'm like you can't do that, Dany. Like why can't you just try to work with people? But she still has this mindset like I'm your queen, and it's like I don't know how you think you can come to this place and just say that. But at the same time, if it wasn't for her, everybody would be dead. So she technically has
dragons.
to get, if it was for her dragons and her bringing her people over there, the Unsullied, the Dothraki, if she didn't bring all those, it would have been a whole lot worse for people. And of course the dragons played a big part in it. If it wasn't for those dragons, fuck.
I feel like
Yeah.
meeting John was her downfall because she started to catch feelings. And we all know
Yep.
that feelings get in the way of,
Yep.
military planning and whatever. And then she finds out that he has a better claim to the throne than she does. So that just threw everything out the freaking window.
I love that everybody glosses over the nephew thing. They always go to the oh, they have a better claim to the throne.
That's
No,
what she
fuck
that's
that.
what she worried about.
She dude, that's your nephew, bro.
That's what she's worried about. You in the episode 4, she didn't mention at all that the fact that
I
think-
know, and she was even like, "Hey, we can keep it quiet as long as you
Right?
keep it quiet. We can do our thing, you know."
exactly.
I think she's just trying to play him. I think she's just trying to keep him in her favor for that reason. I think she doesn't
absolutely.
like it, but for that power, she's willing to do anything, and that means it includes sleeping with her nephew.
There's a word for that. It's called manipulative.
Yep.
And
That's
the
exactly
way
what she
this
is.
the way this past episode was written, it was to get us to be turning against Danny. That was the way this was written. Is this was to drive a wedge through any Danny fans and make them feel indifferent about her. But you go back to Marine, and I think this was the big moment that I just really started to dislike her when we were introduced to the Sons of the Harpy. At the beginning, one of the Unsullied goes into a brothel or whatever, and he gets his throat sliced by Sons of the Harpy, right? And so they take him to trial, essentially because Sir Barristan Selmy had convinced her he needs a fair trial. You need to do this the right way as the new leader of Marine if you want to break the wheel, blah, blah, blah. The next time this happens, one of the Sons of the Harpy gets murdered or, whatever. So instead of giving him a trial, she, stones him to death or kills him in the public. And that's where we get that scene where everyone in Marine starts hissing at her. And I think it was one of those things where it's like, you can't Bernie Sanders this thing and just say you're going to do all this stuff and everyone's going to be happy, but you don't have a real plan for it. And I think that she just kind of has this entitlement of, oh, I'm the true heir to the throne and I'm a Targaryen and I have these dragons and I was blah, 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 blah. And people are just going to love me because I'm me. And it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
That
Yep.
and the old saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Back when she was nice Danny and helpful Danny, she didn't have hardly any power. And then she got the Dothraki, and then she got the Unsullied, and then she got, John's people, and it piles up and piles up. And now she has a real shot at taking out Cersei. So fuck, she's doomed for sure.
Heavy as the
Yeah.
head, man.
Yep.
Heavy as the head.
Yep.
Did
That's
you
true.
did you guys catch the looks that she was shooting John when Tormund and all of his boys were singing John's praises and calling him the king?
mhm.
That's what I'm saying. She looked back like I did not tell her.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
If looks could kill, though, man, she
Oh my
was
God.
pissed.
And then she said, like, tilted her cup up, like, yeah, I'm paying attention. But you can just see her face was just like getting weaker and weaker. And because she was just like realizing, like, now that she's lost half of her people and everybody loves John, it's going to be so much harder for her to try to overpower that. And I think that's when she was like, I got to do whatever I got to do to keep John on my side, to keep him under my control, which means trying to throw my womanly attributes at him, even though he's my nephew.
What do you think about her little half-ass attempt to gain an ally in giving Gendry the
River Run.
Yeah,
Or Storm's End.
yeah.
Storms in, yeah. That was interesting.
That was a bitch move.
It was so weird because at first I was like, "Oh shit, this guy's doomed. He's related to
Yeah.
Robert Baratheon, who basically took the throne from her people." And then she was like, "Here, you can have this." I didn't. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, I would take that with a grain of salt if I was him. I'd be very, anything. Not all money is good money.
More importantly, what about the immediate rejection that he received at the hands of Arya? That was soul.
He shot his shot, man.
That was soul crushing.
Because Arya, I think she's on a different mission. She knows she's on a suicide mission. So I think she knew that when he asked her, that's why she's still over there training, is that she's getting prepared to go take the last person off her list.
You think
And she
suicide
doesn't-
mission though?
Well,
She's
because when she was
looking at it
leaving,
that
Yeah, when she was leaving with the Hound, she's like, "Yeah, I wasn't planning on coming back neither." So like they're both, and I think he's going after this great battle that we were talking about earlier, which is fighting his brother.
Mhm.
So I
And-
think those two battles are going to go
Oh
down.
man, I cannot wait.
You know what?
Mhm.
And that syncs up perfectly because we know that
Represent the hound.
that the Hound is on his way to fight the Mountain. I like that,
Yep.
by the way.
Thank you.
But for our listeners, Adam's wearing the Hound T-shirt. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But the Hound is going to fight the Mountain, and Arya is going to fight Cersei or go to kill Cersei.
Yep.
And who's always together? The Mountain and
Both.
Cersei.
Yep.
So
All the
it's
time.
perfect for them to travel together and stuff. I think Jamie Lannister is going to catch up with them too, and that's going to make for some interesting travel.
Yeah,
that
how
was,
about
that was very interesting.
how about Jamie ghosting Brienne like a motherfucker?
Wow. You know what's funny? Because my wife, she was like, she shouldn't have given it to him. Like he haven't even professed his love to you yet. Like he just wants it. And sure enough,
She
he got what
wanted
he
it too,
wanted.
man. She was
did.
pretty much obsessed with Jamie.
I was so scared they were gonna show her topless. I was like, please don't.
I kind of knew she wasn't because she had a scene a couple seasons ago where she did, and so I had a feeling that she wasn't going to.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
hot tub scene with Jamie.
Yeah, the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a feeling that they weren't going to, and I was the same way with Arya. Please, no more with just skip
Yeah.
over it, please. Yeah, it's so awkward because you've been watching her since she was 12 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Not right.
it was uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
So speaking of Jamie, what is he going to do now? Like, what is
Protect
he
his
off
love.
to? Yeah, but he left. Why would
Yeah.
you leave in the first place? If
That was what so at first I thought, maybe he's going to kill Cersei for some reason. Maybe he's gonna go get back at her because of what she did, capturing Miss Andy and taking down a dragon right after he heard that news, which I think he's still going to do that. I think the way he worded it to Brienne, though, saying he is also a hateful person, I think it's just so that way she won't go chase after him, which in hindsight, I think she's going to go chase after him because it's another waste of a character if she just stays up in Winterfell unless some other battle breaks out up there. But
yeah, and she was pretty beat up about it, so who knows? I just thought that was really weird. Like, I'm gonna go up north, and I'm gonna fight with these people, and he fights off the White Walkers, and then he hears something about Cersei, and he's like, I gotta go up there or down
Mhm.
there.
yeah,
What?
Yeah, it was almost like he went like it was like a grown man that finally heard that his childhood crush is still alive. Almost like it was like almost like he just like reminded himself how much he loved his sister / baby mama, and I think he realized it then. And yeah, it's still not easy to tell where he's going down there for, but I think he's going down there to in some way trying to protect her because he deep down can't stop caring about her. It's like that's like his drug. He can't stop caring about her no matter what he does. And I think the reason why he went up north was because he said that he was, and he wanted to keep his word as a knight. And I think that's why. So,
who do you guys
And of
think
course-
is going to kill her? Sorry to interrupt you, Ken.
oh no, you're good. Ooh, that's a good question.
I said Arya a while back, and if this prophecy thing holds up, then that would complete that. But I don't know. It's still up in the air, I think.
So-
Grey Warren.
Second half of my podcast, I did a little more research into it. One of the things the show cut out that I guess a lot of us just glazed over because I guess we'd read the books and we just assumed that they had said it. But Maggie the Frog in the show, and I went and watched it on YouTube, she never mentions Valonqar. She never says anything about getting strangled by her little brother in the show. So there's a good chance that Arya could kill her. There's a good chance that neither Jamie or Tyrion will kill her.
Well, you remember earlier when I said that I think Jamie's going to join up with Arya and the Hound on their travels?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's how Arya will become Jamie to kill Cersei. And Brienne is going to kill Arya, thinking that it's Jamie.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be
That's
badass.
interesting.
Why would they kill Jamie? Why would Arya and or the Hound kill Jamie though?
Because he's going to do some shady shit on the road with him.
Yep.
Just as I
Because,
started loving Jamie.
because the dude's hateful now. He told you all himself. He said, "Yo,
Yep.
I'm hateful, dude."
Yep.
So
That's true.
he's a bad man.
Yes,
And
it's
I
true.
told you guys this a few episodes back. I said, what if he's there, but he makes a heel turn?
Mm.
And I think
That's-
Adam even
yep.
said, I hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
I do. Jamie Lannister's him and the Hound are my two favorite characters now, and I just it is what it is though.
If this was his
Yeah.
heel turn, it's a half-ass attempt, unless he goes off and does something crazy.
But
yeah,
this is the issue of
It's
where
the start.
2 episodes left. Imagine what this could have been had it been what it should have been, 9 to 10 episode seasons. But
Mhm.
we're getting shortchanged, so we got to deal with what they're giving us.
Yep.
I would have been okay with 2 6 episode seasons, an 8 and a 9. 8 leads up to the battle with the Night King. 9 leads up to the battle at King's Landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If
could
that
see
if
that.
that's the way this ends, unless our little theory about the Night King coming back is true, then that would be sufficient, because I think that's a good wrap to the story. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Yep.
What about your boy Braun? We talked about him switching sides.
he
Braun of
made,
the Blackwater.
yeah, he made quite the bargain for himself, didn't he?
Either way, he wins. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have to fight. Yeah, he set himself up.
So where did
very
he
nice.
go? Did he just take off somewhere?
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Hey, so
Gonna hang out.
what the hell is up with the security at Winterfell?
And I
There
was
ain't none.
wondering the same thing. I was like, how'd they let him just sneak through with this big ass crossbow?
I don't
Like,
get it.
That's another plot hole.
I don't look suspicious here in 1264, carrying a crossbow around with golden inlays.
Yeah.
I guess after the White Walkers were taken out, everyone's kind of tired and just
No one gives
lazy.
a shit.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
complacent.
I guess at the same time, they were all just celebrating the victory, so everyone's like shit faced at that point. So
Yeah, that's true. And not really expecting any enemies at this point. Everybody's pretty much together. That's true.
And
Yeah.
that's why we stand duty.
Right. That's why we have duty on Christmas.
yeah,
It's so true.
unfortunately,
Do we have any other than we've already gone over? Do we have any kind of predictions for the next 2 fucking episodes? Like, are we going to see
Well,
Cersei get killed or
Go
whatever?
by- yeah, let's go by a character basis. Like,
Okay.
what you think is going to happen in that character story arc. Because if you ask, what do you think is going to happen? It's hard to explain everything that you think. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for say, start with Cersei. Zach mentioned Cersei. How do you see Cersei's story arc going forward?
I think she dies next episode. I think the next episode will be their battle. And someone, Arya, whoever. That's why I think Arya, but it could be anybody. I think she'll die for sure. I kind of also think that they'll take out Cersei's people will take out the last dragon. And I don't know if Dany will be on it. Probably not, because they probably want that to be an epic thing. But I think she's going to do damage before she gets taken out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Cersei's been laid up in King's Landing for so long, like Kevin McAllister at Home Alone, and she's been laying these booby traps all over the city. I think that's the real reason why she's letting all the civilians into the Red Keep. Yes, they're a human shield. Yes, it's protection in that regard, but I think it's because she's pushing them all in there so that she could lay her traps throughout the rest of the city. And as the Unsullied or whomever is going to be the front lines are going through the town, going through the city, she's going to have bombs of this wildfire set to go off. Because we've seen when Qyburn gets a mission, he does pretty well. Look at all those damn crossbows that he made.
Jesus.
They came out of nowhere with those too.
We only thought that they had like maybe one of those.
They got a whole bunch of them.
Like
The
both
Golden Company. Yeah.
all had like super ones. Like, dude, they were prepared for some flying.
Yeah, they were.
I want to see the Golden Company in action.
I think we'll see that
Yeah.
definitely this coming episode.
100%.
Are they going to have some wildfire? You
Yep.
think?
I think that's going to be part of their trap.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
I could see that.
Did you guys ever see the movie Con Air? This is off topic.
Oh
big time.
wow.
Yeah. there's a scene in that movie where the cons land their plane in some deserted airfield, and they set a trap where the cops have to get funneled through this one area, and they set propane bombs off, and they shoot them from a distance with sniper rifles, and it makes a big explosion of fire and death. And I see Cersei pulling off some shit like that. It's kind of the same strategy that they used at the Battle of Blackwater.
Yep. That's true.
With
Yeah,
the wildfire out on the water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cersei's like a cockroach. She just keeps staying alive. She just makes it through. I think she's gonna make it to the last episode. Strangely enough,
I wish we had somebody on this podcast that's a huge Cersei fan. That would make it for a fun conversation.
Whoever that person is one fucked up.
That's what I was about to say. Like, God damn.
Yeah. Wait, isn't that Danny's dad's favorite character?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that's
right.
His father's favorite.
That's right.
Crazy, man. I mean, I can see the appeal if you like heel characters, but she's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Man.
So I like Cersei for what she brings to the story. I think that, with how complex she is and just how, relentless she is, I think that brings an exciting element to the story, which is another reason why I was kind of upset that Littlefinger died when he did. I mean, imagine how the story would be if he was still alive right now. I think that, I don't know. I think Cersei will go on past this next episode. She will die for sure. But
I think Sansa has a little bit of Littlefinger in her. No sex jokes intended. I think he kind of passed on his ways and his way of thinking to her, and I think that's why she told Tyrion what she knew about Jon, even after she swore that she
swore.
Yeah, she's trying to plant seeds. That makes sense. She's been around a lot of crazy ass people. Joffrey, who probably didn't teach her a whole lot. Ramsay, I'm sure she's got a lot of crazy tricks up her sleeve just from being around those psychos.
She learned how to think and play the way the game is played from Tyrion's perspective, and she learned it from her father's perspective, her mother's perspective. Like she's seen some shit, and then she learned the dastardly things from Littlefinger. Up personal.
She's not a little bird anymore, as she said.
Yeah, I was going to say that. She did say that. Yep. She did state that.
I think she's turned into one of the more badass female characters on the show. Her and Arya, they're both badasses. I see Dany is going, kind of soft and not as impressive as she once appeared. Cersei, I've always kind of hated, but she is dominant. She's a phenomenal heel. I'll give her that.
Yep.
But I think I agree with you, Zach. I think she's got to die. If not this episode, next episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else they could do next episode, because if they killed the Night King off on the Battle of Winterfell episode, and this next episode is supposed to be the Battle of King's Landing, that only lines up. And then maybe the last episode is
everybody laying in a big bed with pillows and all that stuff. And
it's either that or
in the corner smoking a pipe, laughing.
That or just fucking carnage. I don't know how they're gonna tie all this shit up.
That was a Lord of the Rings joke.
I think the first half of the next episode will be like them getting prepared to attack King's Landing, and then the last part of the episode will be the beginning of that battle, and then the last episode will be the finishing of that battle, and then whatever else they want to portray in it. Because I think they have a lot of time left.
I mean, they've already started the battle though.
They
kind of.
The naval battle has already started. When I said the first shots have literally been fired, I was talking about from the ships.
Yeah, but then that kind of ended though, because everyone basically got
the fleets went apart or were annihilated or whatever.
But that was probably the first like whatever.
That tells me that they've already traveled a significant ways south.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but I was thinking that someone had snitched per se, because it's like they knew where they were coming when they were going to be there. Like they were strategically placed to where they could, one, attack the dragon, and two, attack the ships. It was like almost too easy, like where it was like very questionable on how they were able to plan that attack.
You make a good point, but
that's most likely just plot holes.
I was gonna say if I'm to believe that killing the Night King is just as simple as Arya made it look,
Yes.
then this is
That's
also
true.
believable.
I think if we had way more time and that the books were the backing for the story, then that probably had something to do with someone fucking, ratting on him.
Yeah,
But
that's
since
true.
since there's only 2 episodes and it's just the show on its own, then this is probably just a hole in the story, which
That's
there's
true.
a shit ton of.
I was going to say geographically, Dragonstone is not that far from King's Landing on the map of Westeros. So there is a good chance that they had it like you said, Cam, maybe they got tipped off and said, "Hey, they're headed to Dragonstone," and that's a long trek. So they had enough time to, maneuver even just half the fleet and just move them over to Dragonstone, have them wait up there. But yeah, I mean, it probably is another plot hole with the direction that we're headed. There's just not enough time to correctly tie up things that have been, put
Which
out in front of us.
sucks.
So
Yeah, it does.
It sucks.
I would love to see what the show would have been had they just based it off of the final book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been very interesting.
They just didn't want to wait.
Going back to what you guys were talking about, and it's also not like they have cell phones and they can just text one another.
but they have Starbucks.
It takes a little while for word to travel.
Send a raven.
Yeah, and I mean even that. Who knows how long that takes?
Yeah, at least days.
One would think. I don't know. They might be fast.
They got to stop and eat and sleep, right?
Was that Starbucks thing real?
Apparently,
I
it
saw
was a
that on
Starbucks
Twitter.
cup that they didn't find.
Which even plays to the point more that they're just wrapping everything up. If they
Yeah.
couldn't fucking
They're in
edit
a-
out a Starbucks cup,
That's
you think
what I'm
they're gonna bring
saying.
the Night King back?
Hey, maybe
Is
the
that-
Hound will get some chickens from KFC next episode.
It's like, I thought it was I thought it was fake. And I was like, "There's no way. How could they miss that?" And I don't understand. That's
Cersei
crazy.
will be on
Especially-
the Iron Throne eating a Crunch Wrap Supreme or something.
Oh,
like
my-
especially like the cup was right in front of Danny. It wasn't to the
Yeah.
side of her, behind her. It was in front of her, so they had to see. Oh my god!
How do you even let that shit on a set? What?
Hey, man, it's cold up there.
This is what I told my wife. I told her that Starbucks paid them strategically to
Yeah.
put that cup there to create that buzz, and everybody's talking about Starbucks now. I
They
guarantee it.
Starbucks didn't pay them. Starbucks paid Danny. Danny's getting paid under the table on some sly shit.
Wow.
Ooh.
I bet you some producers are asking us who was drinking Starbucks on set.
I mean,
That's a good one.
who was it sitting in front of?
Oh, that's a good
Man.
one. It's the last season. You got to cash out.
Hey, yeah, she's thinking long term, man. She's like, I'm gonna be the official spokesman of Starbucks. I might get a deal with Sephora.
Get some Tivana money.
So true. Oh my god, that
Real
was
quick,
crazy.
so I wanted to talk about this earlier. This is brief. I just want to ask your opinion on this. Another brand Night King thing, real quick. So when I watched it the second time, right after they light the trenches, Melisandre lights it. We cut to the Godswood, and we see Theon Greyjoy, and he says directly to Bran, "They've lit the trenches." And Bran kind of comes back to it, and he's just sitting there, and Theon says, Bran, I just want to tell you something, and I wish that. And then Bran cuts him off and says, everything you've done has brought you here home. And then Bran immediately, with 30 seconds after Theon says they've lit the trenches, says, "I'm gonna go now." And then Theon says, "Where are you going?" And then Bran orgs into Ravens. And usually this is a transition scene, but I might be looking too far into it. He flies over the Battle of Winterfell, over Winterfell, directly to the Night King, who then right after that lifts his hand, and all of a sudden the bodies know to fall on the fiery trench. And for me, I was like, am I looking too far into this, or is there an actual strategic reason behind this transition from Bran to the Night King?
Do you think Bran was helping the Night King?
Maybe it's one of those kind of like the Jedi, the Sith Lords, the rule of two. Maybe one can't exist without the other. Maybe it's he kind of like how he was able to touch Bran, and Bran can't really control that. It's if he wargs, the Night King's going to be able to find him. Maybe something happened and he ran straight to the Night King, or what? I don't know.
Well, I made the same point
Damn.
last week that when he warged, he went straight to the Night King, so it appeared that he could find the Night King. So I mean, we're on the same kind of train of thought with that, but you definitely expanded on it a lot more, and I like where you're going with that. I mean, we could
That's a
sit
good
here
point.
and we could sit here and speculate all day
Mhm.
long, but I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, Zach's probably fucking right.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to be right. I want there to be some fucking crazy ass connection
Yeah.
between the Night King and Bran. I think that would be great, but we're just not going to get it. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
this is what happens when a show like this gets in over its head. And like you said, they before we got on, Adam was saying that they have to pay all these actors who weren't big names before this show. They have to pay them tons of money. Didn't it cost like $15 million or something to
To make
record
this
episode 3?
episode. Yeah, 55
That's-
nights to film it. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, they've gotten in so far that
Damn.
they have to finish this off. They've made their money and they're trying to wrap it up before they have to start paying people $1 million an episode.
We're gonna
people
get
Yeah. The people that play Arya, Sansa, Cersei, Tyrion, Jon Snow, and I think Jaime Lannister, they each make $500,000 an episode. So that's a lot of money to dish out.
Oh, Jesus.
we're gonna
Usually,
get we're gonna
Go
get a
ahead.
Star Wars ending to this.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we're gonna get the big parade, the big victory celebration at the end where everybody's getting a medal and some shit. And everyone's going to be nodding in approval at one another, and then it's just going to fade to credits.
I would hate that.
That's
I'd be
what
so
it's going to be.
upset.
Probably.
That's
I
what
would
this is going to be.
upset.
It's going to be
Ah.
bittersweet
just-
for all the true fans that wanted a mediocre ending.
Yeah. I haven't read any of the books, but I'm 1,000,000% going to read this last book.
Dude, definitely do it. I'm almost done with the second one, Clash of Kings. And just that first book alone is very similar to the first season, but they dive into Beric Dondarrion a little bit, and there's just more detail that goes into certain things and the way that certain characters are described, and just there's a lot more to it. And I'm glad I read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Like, because just with every other episode, I feel like we're not getting the ending that we should be.
mhm.
We're
You know,
not.
it's all just too easy. The Night King was not supposed to just die and do nothing.
Exactly.
But oh well, it's still enjoyable. Definitely, they still have some
Oh, yeah.
tricks up their sleeves, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I-
There's a lot
I-
more to come.
I really hope that this episode 5 is a big battle, King's Landing, and all that stuff. Episode 6, the good guys are all happy, and then the Night King shows back up, and
yeah, maybe Tormund will be up in the
I think
free country or
he's key to
whatever,
this.
and
I
he'll
think
just
he's
look
key.
up and the Night King will be there or something.
Ooh.
That would be
nuts.
so tight.
And I hope he gets turned and gets to come all the way back. And all the Tormund fans, they're like, no. And then they have to see him try
Got to
to
bring Dark on for that.
Are they ever going to do anything with Ghost, or is that just another wasted opportunity?
Just another wasted opportunity?
They say it costs so much money to CGI him in.
Mhm.
And they've had him in 3 episodes this season, and he hasn't done shit. So to me, that's a waste of fucking money.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him, man. I mean, his man's best friend, and John just kind of left him there.
Then
Yeah,
you say bye.
They should
Like,
just
no.
cut that little 30-second segment and just make that the SPCA commercial from now on. I mean,
Yeah. I was like, I felt for the dog. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
It definitely had a one of those I don't need you anymore kind of feelings.
Yeah.
Like maybe that was the last of him shedding his Stark skin,
Yeah, that's true.
because
Maybe
he
he had to-
chose that over in favor of his dragon.
Yeah, he had to cut his Stark ties to become a full-fledged Targaryen.
mhm.
But the bad part is that he's not a full-fledged Targaryen. He's half Stark. So he can't,
Touche. Yeah.
he can't do that.
Right.
He can't do that.
I think he's picked his side though. He
Yeah.
has Sansa and Arya pulling at him like, "Hey, we're your family." But I think he's like, I got to go with this girl here.
Yeah.
Plot
We'll do
twist.
as you say. When you say go, we'll go. I was
But
like,
but
"Oh."
Sansa betrayed him. She
She did.
betrayed his
Hmm.
trust.
She did. She's not gonna like that.
When they were doing that, I told my wife, I was like, "Oh yeah, because girls are notorious for keeping secrets."
Hey, Arya hasn't said shit, to her credit.
Yeah,
Ned
she's a
Stark
gangster,
kept that secret till his death. And
Right? Yeah.
Sansa told us
Yeah.
2 hours
Did you see
later.
that?
Sansa knows for 10 seconds, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Tyrion, guess what? I fucking know."
I was like,
Did you see that
damn.
meme?
The meme with the SpongeBob fish like blasting through the door.
Yes. Yes. That Ned Stark kept the biggest secret of Westeros for 20 years, and
Yeah.
freaking Sansa knows it for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. Well, we're getting a little short on time. Give us your
Yep.
final thoughts real quick, and go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you guys. Cam, if you want to kick it off.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to come. I agree with you that we're not going to have the ending that we want. I think Grey Worm is going to have a little bit more to do with it since his girl was killed right in front of him. So I'm curious to see how that plays
we
out.
barely even talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
which part?
She's dead.
Yeah,
What's her
that-
name?
I don't know her name.
Miss Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah. So I think that hurt him bad. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But I still, I don't think we're gonna get the ending that we deserve. I think Cersei's gonna make it past this last episode, the next episode to the last episode. There's a lot more to play, I think. And now that I know that they're doing an hour and a half episodes, I feel a little bit better. So, but yeah, everybody can find me. I'm on all social media at I am Cam Harris, and I look forward to being back.
And the name of your podcast is He Said, She Said, right?
Yeah. He say, she say. Yeah. So it's very interesting. We've been slacking. That's why I commend you guys for like keeping on this because it's not easy.
It's not.
especially running a solo one. I can imagine, man. So props to you on that. But he say, she say on YouTube. All podcasts, all that good stuff. We get to hear couples argue and debate over simple topics.
It's a pretty funny show. I've listened to a few of them. I like it. All right, Cam, thanks for coming on, man. Adam, what's up, man? What's your final thoughts?
Man, I'm just I'm up in the air with everything. So I think we're gonna get a Mad Queen out of Danny. I think that they're headed in that direction. As far as who's going to win this thing, if there is a winner, I'd like to see Sansa, kind of weasel her way through everything and take over.
My wife said, sorry to interrupt, my wife said the same thing earlier today. She's like, I kind of see Sansa as taking over.
That's the ultimate, comeback story. I mean, going from the Joffrey to Cersei to Ramsay to Littlefinger to everything, and now she's here. She's been through hell and back. I think that would be the coolest payoff. I do think there's going to be something more to the Night King. I can't say what it is because I have no idea, but I'm crossing my fingers on that. I don't think that we've seen the last of the people in the North. Maybe Samwell, maybe his wife or whatever, but Gilly. But as far as Tormund, Sansa, everybody up north, I think there's going to be more to that. But man, I'm getting ready for this next episode. It's going to be a wild ride. I can't wait. Been watching this shit for years to get to this point, so let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty excited about it.
Fuck me up, like
just kill everybody. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, made me cry like I did an Endgame,
Right.
But you can find me at The Bearded by Esta. I'm on iTunes, I'm on Podbean. I'm eventually gonna get on Spotify and everything. I know I shaved the beard off, but I got engagement photos coming up, so the beard will be back soon. You can find me on Instagram at @bearded_by Esta. And I love talking Game of Thrones. I'd actually love to have you three and Garth too come on at some point as guests for one of these last 2 episodes I'm going to have covering Game of Thrones. And I'm actually thinking about, even when the show is done, maybe having episodes once a month. And just, if you guys decide to pick up the books and read, Zach, Cam, whoever, and let's just discuss the differences between the book and the show.
That's cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a
for
good
sure.
point. That's tight.
Yeah. If you want, listeners, if you want a more in-depth kind of personal take on the last episode, Adam's last episode was great. It's just him kind of going through what his thoughts on episode 3. I really enjoyed it because here, we have a panel, but for Adam, that was just,
and we just bullshit, really.
We get off topic.
Yeah, if you bring more points like the one with Bran, that's some good intel. That's some really good insight.
Yep.
I paid too much attention to it, but no, I'd love to have you guys on because I know you guys all know your shit as well, and it'd be cool to have you on and give a little more insight as well. So, yeah, we'll plan for it next week sometime.
Cool. We'll try to make it happen. Yeah, look for it. All right, Zach, you got anything else?
I think we're good.
All right, guys. See you later.